I'm so excited to talk to you about classroom management, classroom behavior management. So, Susan is an amazing educator. She is our expert on technology for littles and has an extensive background in instructional technology. So, Susan, thank you so much for being here today. So, first, I'd just like to hear a little bit about you and your experience and the role that you're in right now.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. It is so nice to chat with you today. For sure. So my experience in education, I've been in my school district for 24 years. I spent 14 years in the classroom to start as a kindergarten and second grade teacher. From there, I transitioned and became a teacher on special assignment for about 10 years. And in that role, I got to support teachers of students of all ages. And we focused a lot on integrating technology, especially in a time when the transition to one-to-one was very new. We started this role in 2013, and we were piloting new devices. So it was a really exciting time. This last year, I did make the transition back to a first grade classroom, and it's been a whole lot of fun taking the knowledge that I gathered in those years as a teacher on special assignment and applying it with my own group of students again. So it's been a whole lot of fun just to get back and be with kids every single day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm sure it's been fun to go back to the classroom and interact with kids all the time. So that's so fun. With your transition back to the classroom, what was your biggest challenge when it came to classroom management?
Well, I'll say that my biggest challenge was just knowing where to get started. When I first started teaching many, many moons ago, I used an assertive discipline system where it was like cards and it focused very much on negative behaviors. And the reason why I did that is because that's what everyone around me was doing, right? And, over time, they say know better, do better. And I tried to really shift the focus from that negative behaviors and responding to negative behaviors and just being more clear with the expectations as well as clear with the importance of the positive reinforcement. So with that, I had piloted early the tool Class Dojo, and some teachers will talk about that as a system where you can give students points for making the right choices, and you can also take away points as well. But when I was using Class Dojo originally, it was really for the focus of positive reinforcement. How do we focus on the right behaviors? And I had tried to align that with our school-wide behavior system. We use PBIS, which really is talking about positive behavior intervention in sports. And I could align the Class Dojo items with our safe, accountable, trustworthy, respectful, because we're the stars. So we have an acronym for that. When I came back to the classroom, I immediately went back to Class Dojo thinking that that was the tool because I loved it so much. And even then, I struggled just because I really wanted to not just make it about that, ding, ding, ding of the positive behavior, but more like how could the students be accountable for their own choices, right? So making clear expectations and that accountability. So it's been a bit of a transition throughout the year. In the beginning, we did use a Class Dojo, and now we're really focusing more on clarity of expectations. I have students set their own behavior goals, and they have a goal sheet, and every week they're working to meet that goal. And it's just little things. Sometimes rewards are mini erasers or stickers, but they have a goal sheet and they track their own goals. Did I, finish all of my assignments today? Did I stay in my seat? Whatever it is that they have individually as their responsibilities, their goals, we track it using a goal sheet. And it's simple on paper. I initial little boxes, and they respond so well because those goals can be academic or those goals can be behavioral. So we're really focusing on tracking individual goals.
That's great. That's great. I love that you're like shifting from like that point system and all of that to expectations. I think that's so important to like instill that in kids like from such a young age, because that is like, that's your whole life. You're going to have to be accountable and be held to specific expectations. So I think that's great. So were there some other strategies that you tried in your classroom that were successful in addition to like setting the goals and everything with your students?
Yeah, this year I've also made a very intentional focus on building relationships with families. That has been huge because I know that my parents understand that my purpose is to honor their students as individuals, right? I've got 22 friends in my class and they're 22 very different people. And so just honoring who they are, my parents, just because I try to send them messages regularly with the positives because, as we know, when you focus on the positive, when it's time to maybe address some of the negative, they know that you're their child. You're not there just to the bad things. I'm there with the positives 10 times more than the negatives. So when I have had to had some maybe more challenging conversations with parents about situations in class, we have a relationship. I'm not coming at them with just the negatives. We send pictures to each other. They'll send me pictures from home. I send pictures from class. And I know, like, as a mom myself, when I get a picture of something amazing going on in the classroom, like, it brightens my day. And it just makes me know that that teacher is taking that moment to reach out and connect. So building relationships with my families was huge from the start. And we do that weekly. Weekly, there's some kind of contact, just to say how we're doing, check in, quick little, whether it's 1 or 2 sentences or maybe more. I do have like very intentional connections with families, simply so when it's time, they know who we are and we know that we're all focused on what's right for their unique, special little person.
Right, right. Yeah, that relationship piece is like so, so important. So that's great. And that's something you're sharing, like all the positive things and not just the negative, because that does make people a lot more receptive to hear when, there is constructive feedback. So that's important. So kind of going back a bit, like breaking this down like step by step. So with your goals sheets with your students, how did you start that? Like how did you implement that in your classroom? What was that process like?
Yeah, so it really goes back to clarity. From the start, I wanted to say, for our goal for the next 20 minutes is to do this, this, and this. And if we meet our goal, we'll get the star. And then dial it back even further to, we're going to be good listeners. What does a good listener look like? That's eyes are watching, body still, ears are listening. Those little things of, remind me, what does a good listener look like? Instead of saying, you're not listening, you're not listening, you're not listening, then I'll pause and say, oh, thank you, Emma. Emma is sitting with her hands folded. She's got her eyes on the speaker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And really calling out those students who are doing what they're supposed to be doing versus focusing on the friends who maybe are struggling, because they see it and they notice it, like, oh, she just got praised for sitting still. Let me sit still now too. Right? So being very clear in what the expectation looks like. And from there, with the goal sheets, I'll be like, oh, after we're done here, bring me your goal sheet because I'm giving you 2 gold stars for being a good listener, right? And so just kind of holding them accountable, but then helping our students at the same time. Once we started with just getting little rewards, whether it was bringing back their homework folder, whether it was completing a task. We have certain things we have to accomplish each week. And if they meet their minutes for a certain program, or if they, get all of their assignments done on time, those are all goals we all have for ourselves. But they also set individual goals. Like this week, I'm going to learn 10 new sight words. And having them set those goals themselves, it really allows us to make that personal and meaningful. It's not just a little mark on a sheet. It's something, okay, I'm going to work for this. And when I reach it, I'm going to set a new goal that's even higher. So that self-monitoring and self-tracking of progress, it's been amazing. But again, I can use it for the academic goals, but also the behavioral goals too. Like I have a couple friends who, and it's been amazing to watch them grow because of that personal accountability. So just asking them to, focus on what is it that is going to help you be successful? What does it look like to be safe with that chair? Like, okay, friend, can you please be safe? Show me what safe looks like in that chair. Okay. And I'm like, okay, here's our goal for today. Our goal for today is that you keep your chair flat all day, if you make it through the day. So that was a goal I set. Today, we're going to work on it. And then it's just building repetition, procedural clarity, right? What they know, what the expectations are. So it's probably a whole lot of chatting for that response.
No, I love it. I love it. I think that it is so important that like they can personalize those goals, like what you're saying. It's the academic, it's the behavior, it's both of it. And you are creating these independent learners who are self-monitoring. And I think that's, so important as they get older and go throughout, school and their entire life. So each week you talked about them setting like different personal goals. Do you do that on like Monday morning? Do your students like set their personal goal for that week?
Sometimes it's Monday morning. Sometimes it's actually Friday afternoon, because Friday afternoon, I always conference with them about their goal sheet for the week. Like, where are you at? How are we going? Spend about an hour of my day while students are doing some independent tasks. I call them back for 2 or 3 minutes each, and we go through where they are. And so sometimes we'll even do it Friday afternoon for next week, because we'll stop and evaluate, how did this week go? Okay, how's
Mhm.
next week going to be different? And then sometimes it is Monday morning as well. That's the classroom. We can't be
Right,
totally,
right.
but
Yeah.
so they do. And so we'll sit and have just a little conference and chat. Now, I have other friends that I meet with daily to talk about their goals, and some
Okay.
friends meet with less often, because
Mhm.
students, at that age especially, uh, seeing past one day is a lot, right? Thinking about the reward's going to be on Friday might be. So let's just talk about what we can do today. Okay. If we get at least 3 gold stars today, you know, you can pick from the sticker bucket. Oh, I'll tell you, the sticker bucket, they love little rewards like that. I order a pack of 300 stickers on Amazon for $6.99, and they are just like, woohoo, I won the lottery of stickers. And their little sticker habits are so fun, because they swap, they trade, but there's a lot of value. Stickers and little tiny mini erasers give them this just, I don't need fancy prizes. I don't need anything extraordinary. They're motivated by those little things, because it really isn't about the prize. It's about, woohoo, I met the goal. I did the thing. So
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
fun.
That's great. That's so fun.